Hello, my name is Silikuni Hida and welcome back to my channel. Today is the 20th of April and it's a Saturday, which is an odd day for me to start recording a vlog for a convention, but the convention I go to will be Naokicon in Eschweiler, which is in Germany, and it's only one day long and it's only tomorrow on a Sunday. I'm stressed as usual. I had LuxCon last weekend, I had this week to gain my energy back and prepare for this convention tomorrow. I'm still tired and I can feel it. However, I was productive. I looked into my buttons and made the ones I was missing or sold out, which was foremost Angel Dust and Alistair from my Husband Hotel ones. Also almost Fizaroli and some Asmodeuses. So I made those, and then I also stocked up on some of my patches because I sold out on my Raven patches. Raven, Crow, I don't know what it exactly is. I just use both interchangeable. And while doing so, I also had the idea to add a hare. I'm very picky about my Lino cards and have a hard time deciding on what I want to add. But since I love bunnies, and especially hares have a very interesting symbolism in art and how they're portrayed, I thought it would just fit perfectly towards my Raven. And to keep like this whimsical kind of flair and occult kind of energy up, I gave my hair a horn. So it's a unicorn hair or something like that, since my Raven has two eyes. So I sketched it down, I really like it, and I'm very excited to cut it out of my linoleum. Not only did I sell some Raven Crow patches, but also some prints, which I'm very excited about because it's something I don't sell as much. Like, I sell it every now and then, but now after LuxCon I really had to stock them up. And that's about it. That's all I had to prepare for this con, since I stocked up so much for last con, but also last con was a lot. By the time you see this, I have my LuxCon video already up, and if you want to check it out, please feel free to do so. I would be very happy about that. It would mean a lot. So my plan for today is that I pack the car now. I drive already to Trier because that's 1 hour less driving for me tomorrow, because tomorrow morning we have to get up at around 5 to leave at around 6 to be there at around 8. And then at around 11, no, like at 11 the convention starts and is going until 8 in the evening. So tomorrow will be a very long day for me, and that means I have to pack up everything now, hope that I don't forget anything because that would be crucial, and then also afterwards go shop so I have some snacks for tomorrow. Also after Naokicon, I will not have a convention for the rest of the month, and only next month, which is Nonkicon. I swear Naokicon and Nonkicon are very similar in name, but very different. Nonkicon is actually the convention I restarted my YouTube channel again, so that's almost a year then. Time is passing so fast. Oh, I'm very happy about that though. Also, let me just share a random fact about this week, or in general about the last few weeks. Also because it helped me to like relax a bit and then create some art that is not necessarily for the table or anything else. But I started listening to the Magnus Archives a few weeks ago. I'm only at episode 17 now. I'm very slow. I have a hard time to stay focused on listening something because eventually my thoughts just drift off and then I'm very lost and don't know anymore what has happened. So I have to re-listen to things a lot. But I love Jonathan and I'm very gay for Jonathan and I just like him and oh my god. So I drew him. I drew a little portrait of how I imagined him and also based on how other people draw him, and I think he turned out very good. Then again, as a headcanon, I imagine him a bit older because he just gives me that vibe, although he's much younger than what I have expected, but he just is like this old, mature, grumpy man, and I just think he's hot. And I'm very excited. And despite having cried yesterday after the last episode because I am a crybaby regarding horror, and yet here I am listening to it, I really enjoy it. It's also the first podcast I ever started listening, so I'm getting there. Yeah, I just prefer watching videos on the side while doing things or listening to music because I don't have to focus on it as much. My brain just shuts down after some time. Let's go pack the car and then drive and then shop and then fall into bed eventually soon. We arrived at the convention. We did, and we have our tables. And we have a bunch of things on the floor which we have to now put on the tables. After 2 hours of driving, and I succeeded. Yes, love.
Zum Anime Opening Quiz. Ja, bis dann und einen Applaus für euch selbst.
We have arrived in Eschweiler. We woke up at around 5 and drove then for 2 hours, starting 6 until 8. And I managed. I'm so proud of myself for driving for the first time so far away, Falcon, on my own. Because I'm the one with a driver's license, because my boyfriend doesn't have one, so I am the one in charge of the car, and everything went well. It's a Sunday, so there are not many people around and out on the streets, so perfect. Everything went well, we arrived, we set up our tables, like we had 3 hours of time, like we arrived at 8 and the convention started at 11. It's very easy peasy cheesy right now. So far it's very chill. It's now 10:15 and it means I still have 45 minutes to see if I didn't forget anything and if I need still something, and yes, then we can start the convention. It's a very big hall with many artists. I have no idea how many artists there are. I can look later on the plan and just put it in here so you know. Behind the tables we have enough space, like it's like a meter of space. I feel like I can touch wall. I also have wall space. It means I don't have neighbors behind me, so I don't have to worry of like annoying someone or like being in someone's way. So this is very pleasant for me. I enjoyed it. When I saw it on the plan, I was like, perfect. And yes, let's see how it goes today. It's one day. I'm very excited now that I've actually arrived here. I'm very chill about it, and I'm looking forward for the convention, because before I was just stressed about getting here, which luckily went very well.
Ja, ihr Vater ist Geheimagent und ihre Mutter ist Apothekerin.
Das ist die richtige Antwort. Der Punkt geht an dich, bitteschön. So, dann auch die nächste Frage. Nicht entmutigen lassen. Du kriegst das nicht hin. So, die nächste Frage. Wie heißt das Idol von Deku aus My Hero Academia?
We are back in my room, and it's actually a month later, because also for this video I took quite some time to record now the outro, and I wrote such a good script for talking about this now, and my PC lost it because I didn't save it, so it's probably my fault. It is my fault. And I now very fast rewrote that script and hope it just as great, but I really liked what I wrote in the first place, so I'm a bit sad about that now, but let's get started. First impression, this convention was very well organized, and you could tell by different aspects of this convention. Not only throughout the process of applying to that con and being in touch with them and figuring out all the information, they were super friendly and communicative, but they also had a very solid foundation. They have a proper web page with all the information on. You could buy the tickets online there. They also have an Instagram account on which they uploaded regularly any kind of information and announcements, and on both these sites they have a very coherent and catchy branding with the colors and their mascot, and it just looks amazing and very thoughtful. It's like they put so much effort into this, and one can tell. It looks all very solid and welcoming. Why it also raised many expectations of this being a great convention, because already the pre-work was done so well. And of course, for me as an artist, I hope that many people would come due to that. And in fact, they sold out on their online tickets before the event, which is great. Like that, we, the artists, knew that there is already a certain amount of people that will be there on that day. And that's amazing. You want your event to be sold out like that. Of course, the day itself, they still had tickets at the cash register at the entrance where you could get some more tickets, but I have no idea how many they would still give out, or like how many they overall had available online. So that would be very interesting to know in general, like to know how many people were there that day. They did a great job with that, and also they just promoted so much. But their work didn't stop there. At the convention itself, they also put so much effort into their event. First of all the staff members were wearing t-shirts with the Naokicon logo on, and like that it was very easy for visitors but also exhibitors to find staff members back in case they had questions or needed anything, and that was wonderful. At the con itself also, it was mostly one big hall which had 3 merchants, I think, and more than 70 artists. As far as I know, Naokicon that day was the first time it happened, but maybe some people of the staff already organized other conventions or were part of it, why they could bring this input into Naokicon and the ideas and such. I don't know, like maybe, but one can tell they just knew what they were doing, and it's just amazing to see that such an event that happens for the first time already puts so much focus onto having so many artists, and 70 artists for such a con is a lot. I love that. I loved it. As an artist, you also felt very welcomed and just in good hands. Next to the 70 artists and the 3 merchants, they also had some food tables where you could get super yummy food. Like, I didn't get anything, but my boyfriend did, and of course, he's my boyfriend. That means a percentage of his food is my food, and it was very yummy. Besides of the food and exhibitors, they also had 2 star guests there. Like, one was the voice actor of the German voice of Ruffy from One Piece, or Luffy from One Piece, what you prefer. In Germany, he's called Ruffy. And next to him, there was also a lady that also voice acts but also writes the scripts for voice actors to make them suit and fit into the scene and easy to speak. And they also had a little interview on the stage itself, and it was very interesting to just listen. The stage was also in the same room as the exhibitors, and I was not that far away, so it was very pleasant to like get to know more about it. Besides that, they also offer 2 anime quizzes and a show from a Japanese fighting club, who also outside offered workshops for visitors to get a short insight into that fighting style. The only negative, which is a common thing here probably, the stage was too loud. I personally again think it was too loud. It was overwhelming at times, especially when they had also the anime openings playing due to the anime quiz, and also at some point with the voice actors. Ruffy is very loud when he says certain voice lines, and the voice actor said one of these, and I think it was one of his attacks or so, and the microphone just cracked, and it took me very surprised, and it was suddenly so much. But yeah, it's the only point where I'm a bit, it's too loud, I don't like it. It makes it hard for me to stay focused and do my job. So they had the artists, they had some merchants, they had the food, they had the entertainment on stage, and besides that they also had a great stage presence. One of the staff members was often going up onto the stage and informed people about this, or when something was a bit delayed. Like, they were also very transparent throughout the convention with visitors and artists and keeping them up to date and using that stage to get people from one spot to the other one. Then again, the stage at Naokicon was now not as bad as the stage at LuxCon, which I already talked about in my last video, but to shortly pick it up, at LuxCon I was very overwhelmed. They had some entertainment and things that happened on the stage for longer periods of time, and also at LuxCon I worked much more because first of all it was 2 days, and on top of that I was also a volunteer at times, so I also had that kind of work and it just drained me more than other conventions. The staff was also very thoughtful at the end of the convention because it was supposed to go until 8, but around 7 there were barely any people left because it was a Sunday and people started to leave around 6 most. So there was not much going on and they just told us that we could pack up at 7 because there was no point in us sitting an hour longer there and nothing happening. So I'm very happy that they did that and they also considered it and weren't just stubbornly pushing onto the artists staying until 8. The location itself was also very easy to reach, at least for me. I also have a car and they also had enough parking slots for us when we arrived. And again, we arrived earlier because we have to set everything up. And on top of that, I also think that the building itself suited perfect for the event. Like, it just felt very cozy to be there. Let's talk about numbers. We had 3 tables together. That meant each one of us had 1 table and the third one we split in half, so we would have 1.5 table. That cost for me 70 bucks, for him 70 bucks, and in total we also needed 1 tank for the car, which is 50 bucks, so that is a total of 95 bucks for me. And then of course some food, which in average I didn't count in 20 euros, which gives me expenses worth 115 euros. This is alright for one day, considering that we booked in total 3 tables and that it was also further away. And that day I made 430 euros. Minus the expenses gives me a total of 315 euros, which is great for a day considering that there were so many talented artists. It makes sense for me. I am happy with what I got and very excited about this convention. In general, there were so many great artists and also super friendly artists. I talked a lot with a few of them and I just had such a great time. Also, the artists who were sitting next to me, super lovely, super friendly. But yes, it was a great atmosphere and in conclusion, it was just a great event. And honestly, I'm looking forward for the next event where I can participate because they already announced their next day where they will have Naokicon, and that would be the 29th of September, which I sadly can't go to because I think I will have LGX there, which is a local bigger con. At least I hope it still remained big because there was some drama going on last year, like a lot. And if I talk about it, it will be in the LGX video, which then would come out in October. Yeah. So there's still some time, but I'm very sad that I cannot go to Naokicon next time. So I hope that they still succeed, that the next con they have, like the event, the day they have, will be a blast, so that I can maybe come next year. That would be awesome. Also, in general, if they plan on having it twice a year, that's amazing and something I would be looking forward to. Great convention, go check it out. But before we end this video, let me show you this. This is my last sketchbook that I filled up, and the next video that will come out is a sketchbook tour of this sketchbook. It's a chunky boy, there is a lot in, and I will now run off to go record everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any feedback or questions, please let me know down in the comments. And if you want to support me, you can do so on my Ko-fi. I also have some commission slots on there. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos, please consider to subscribe. And with that, I wish you a good day or night wherever you are. Bye!